Today we're in Covent Garden with serial entrepreneur Lara Morgan. Lara Morgan is the founder of Pacific Direct, a manufacturer and supplier of luxury hotel amenities. In 2008, Lara sold her majority share in the company and has now launched a campaign to stimulate the growth of the UK's SME sector. With almost 20 years of experience in business, we'll be talking to Lara about the importance of personal development as an entrepreneur.
I set up Pacific Direct when I was 23, unqualified and with no staff, no real idea of a business plan or any actual business training and experience. So I built a business in 1991, which I sold in 2008, 17 years later. We sold basically soap, but luxury soap like miniature toiletries under brands, which we licensed to, in the end, 110 countries with 9 offices, to the leading global hotel chains, so Four Seasons, Mandarin and others.
What inspired you to set up a soap company?
In 1991 I needed a job, and I had been in sales before. I hadn't actually ever lived in England at all, but my other half was coming back to England to do an MBA, and I was offered the opportunity by contacts I had in Asia, and ultimately that's the way it began. The passion came as I started to understand the hospitality industry and be exposed to this fantastic environment. But ultimately I was a salesperson and I was enjoying the product that I was selling, and as the business built, it was the passion for growing the business that was I guess the real drive.
In terms of your advice to other people who may be starting out like yourself, who may be in their early 20s or what have you, what would you say to them about being really driven by something that they're really passionate about?
Very important. But nevertheless, I also believe that if you are passionate about a service entity or something within improving a business, that's as good a reason. And I would say also, more than anything, starting young, starting inexperienced, and starting without, I think, being accountable to others or having the hideous burden of all the other things that will come as you get older, whether it's family or costs of living, is a massive advantage that I didn't realise I had aged 23.
So you're no longer doing Pacific Direct?
I still have a shareholding in Pacific Direct, but I have a new, if you like, focus. I'm unrelenting about my determination to get more focus on growth businesses, the sector where, if you like, the enterprise person has shown that they've got the mettle, and then they need education and support in more ways than you can count. And I don't believe that there's anything like the amount there. So I'm building a website called Company Shortcut where people can go and download cheat sheets, if you like, but really frameworks, templates and information that I gathered over 17 or nearly 20 years of being in business. And I just think there's nothing like it available, and I'd love to offer it, if you like, if it helps.
Given that you were the one that set up Pacific Direct, what was it like selling your baby?
Very hard. Can't even begin to estimate how hard it is. And I'm still a shareholder and still very, attached to the people that I worked with, and I have some great friends and relationships which are immensely important. But it's an emotional roller coaster. It's very challenging. Nevertheless, I've been very fortunate that it gives me freedom and choice, so the rewards are high.
So what would you say was the most significant milestone on your journey as an entrepreneur?
Without question. In terms of the entrepreneurial journey, I decided to go and get educated after 8 years where I felt the wheels were coming off the business, it was out of control. So I went to the Business Growth Development Programme at Cranfield, which was a turning point.
So I want to talk about your own personal development as an entrepreneur, and how important is that to you?
There is no price on keeping up with the game, on self-education, on leading by example, by being knowledgeable about what's happening, not only in your sector, but in enterprise and business as a whole. You need to be cutting edge. I'm absolutely passionate about education and the importance of developing individuals. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to grow a very big company. I mean, we nearly had 500 people when I sold, so I couldn't have done it single-handedly. And without the culture of learning and the culture of continual improvement and change, I just am utterly certain we couldn't have achieved what this miracle group of people that stayed the journey, if you like, managed to achieve.
And what are the key things that you would do around your own personal development?
My own personal development is also a continual journey, and it's something I'm unsatisfied with continually. I never think I'm doing enough or contributing enough or giving back enough, and I think there's an ambition about experiencing everything, doing as much as I can. And I think that kind of ambition is powerful. But I review constantly this ridiculous chart, which is brilliant and ridiculous in one. It's literally a pie chart where I've given myself 7 criteria and I want a balanced pie. So I know when I'm doing all right, when all those 7 parts of the pie are equal. They change according to where you are at in your life. But there are very important things like family, which is a, you know, enormous challenge for any entrepreneur. Yeah. To balance time of that and the passion of being in my playground, which is business, and in my case combined with putting back into society, as well as staying fit, which also is integral to being successful in business. So those are 4 to begin with, but you can pick your number.
Why is the financial element not so important to you anymore?
Obviously it's a huge privilege that I've sold my company quite well, very well. And I've sort of had a tick sheet of the things that mattered to me. In most cases, it's not about the money. It's about another driver. And I think those that concentrate on it all about becoming rich often miss the opportunity.
Having gone down that journey, how important is it for pioneers to be able to focus on their own personal development?
Oh, important. I mean, but I think there are different stages and ways. And I think some people get trapped in, I need an education, and that's rubbish because you can read and you should apply to yourself in books. And frankly, in my day, there wasn't the internet, and the resource that people now have at their fingertips is massive. So it's inexcusable not to be progressing. It's also inexcusable not to find time to read press about your sector and to live and breathe your business, because actually if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, young pioneer, you make sacrifices. If you want to be an entrepreneur, there's not a halfway house. It's all or nothing.
What are the key areas that you think pioneers, entrepreneurs should focus on in terms of their personal development?
I think it boils down to 4 main sectors. I mean, I don't think you can be a truly leading, organised entrepreneur unless you get the financial pillar right. I think, personally, I'm pretty biased, but my skill is sales. I think if you can't sell, you're really in trouble to begin with, because you can have a great idea, but if you can't sell it, you have nothing. People are at the heart of every business, and unless you learn to manage and lead with integrity and enterprise, and I think with fun, that's going to be a huge, endless push and pull challenge. And then finally, and I learned this late in the game, so you can go without for a while, but you might do better if you learn early, is you need to measure and have targets, be focused on a key area, a key strategic area, to get the right results as fast as you can.
Where would you point entrepreneurs to be able to go and find out on those 4 key areas that you mentioned?
There is I mean, it depends what phase they're at, you know, because it's a never-ending journey. And one of the best things that I used to do is I used to attend anything that was free, breakfast and dinner, because it didn't affect the sales hours of the day, because that's when you make your business grow. And the other thing, finally, is mentoring. You know, ask somebody. I haven't met another business person. I mean, you know, whether people call me an entrepreneur, which I think is, you know, quite an honour. I think it's about having the humility and then being ballsy enough to ask, being professional about the timing and the approach that you make, and being respectful and flexible. So if somebody then says, call me at 9 o'clock at night, you may have 1 chance. Yes. So set an alarm at 10 to 9 and get yourself organised with the right questions that you want answered.
For you, does personal development ever stop?
No, absolutely not. I think it's part of the process. It's integral to success. So no, you must keep learning, keep applying, and the answer is absolutely not. Keep going.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us today, Lara. Really, really appreciate it, and thank you for the tips you've given to the pioneers as well.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, Dave.
Personal development is driven by an ambition to do everything. You must maintain your hunger to learn. When starting out, 4 key areas you should focus on for personal development are finance, sales, managing people, and measurement. There are plenty of avenues out there that you can choose from for your personal development. They can include reading books, attending courses, or going to seminars, or even finding yourself a personal mentor. What you really need to do is use your initiative and be proactive about it. Thank you for watching. We'd like you to post a video response with your thoughts and opinions on virginmediapioneers.com.